The past 3 years have been a string of bad headlines for Volkswagen. Problems in China, cost-cutting, tariffs. Now some good news. It says it's on the offensive. Volkswagen is releasing 4 new EV models for Europe's volume market this year. The ID Polo, Cupra Raval, Skoda Epiq and ID Cross are all built on the same platform and all in Spain. Well, I traveled this week to Martorell, Spain, where VW marked the production start for Polo and Raval. And I had a chance to speak with Volkswagen Group CEO Oliver Blume. Take a listen.
Now, Oliver Blume, we talked about this being an emotional day for you in particular. You worked here in Spain, in Martorell, for quite a while, a number of years. But this is also an important day for Volkswagen. Can you explain why?
Yeah, it's an important day for Volkswagen Group, for Cupra as a brand, but especially for Spain. And we were able to present today our new products, where we unified on one platform 3 brands, Cupra, Volkswagen and Skoda, with the Raval, the ID Polo, and later with the Epiq. And with a heavy investment here in Spain with over 10 billion euros during the last years. And now it's a great moment also for me personally, having worked here for many years, meeting a lot of old friends and seeing how emotional and how proud is our team having completed this project and ramping up the new products.
In the press, we talk so much about profit losses. We talk about write-offs that Volkswagen has faced, cuts that the jobs and to employees. Is this a kind of, you said it's an offensive. Volkswagen is on the offensive, is what you said on the stage. Does this feel like a turnaround moment for you or a turnaround year for Volkswagen?
Now we are looking back 3 heavy years where we have a deep readjustment and restructuring in Volkswagen Group. Everything we promised 3 years ago, we have achieved. Today is an important proof point on this. We have achieved everything in terms of products, having improved design, quality, technologies, but also software, battery technology platforms. Then we have ordered our regions overall in China, and we have implemented financial programs which help us today to face and to compensate the heavy headwinds. When we talk about losses, you have to take into account that we have heavy headwinds in terms of tariffs, in terms of geopolitical crisis which affect markets, which affect supply chains. We have a China market where we haven't got the margins from the past. We have the huge transformation to invest and many things to compensate. And so we are quite happy with the progress we can see right now. And now we are looking for the future. And we are entering into the next step of transformation. We think that transformation is a new normal. And there we are focusing on reducing our costs even more, bringing down our break-even situation to be more robust for the future. But today we can say everything we wanted to do in the last years we have completed, and now we are entering with full motivation to the next steps.
What does that mean, bringing down costs even more? For perhaps some people in Germany, they may hear that and be a little concerned. Obviously, there's been cost cuts that have affected workers in Germany, for example. We look at Spain. You're building 4 new models here in Spain. Is the future of this company, this German company, essentially elsewhere? Is it in places like Spain?
Our home is Germany, but we are also looking to countries where we have great framework conditions, like here in Spain. We have a low cost base, low energy pricing, and then also great support from the government. And therefore we decided to go here. Also in our existing structure, we have already had. And but in Germany, we also have opportunities. We were able to reduce, for example, last year our plant cost of over 20%. On group level, we reduced our overhead cost of over 1 billion comparing to 25 in the same period. But we have to do more. And there we are focusing the whole cost areas, starting with engineering, material costs play a role, but also our sales cost. We are focusing and overhead cost. And that is a teamwork at the end. But we have to do it because we have to face the competition. And competition has intensified during the last years. And that's our homework to do, at the end being able to offer the right pricing for our customers.
Are you defending your turf in Europe or can you build it out even more in terms of your market share? Obviously, market share in China has fallen. Do you see Europe and these models focused on the European market as helping replace some of that?
Europe is our home market, and we have a very strong position in Europe with the highest market share we have ever achieved in the history of Volkswagen Group, 25%, and for the electric cars, 27% in the last year. And that is, I think, a good target to defend this market position. We are entering with a huge product offensive in the market, and maybe it will be also possible in some segments to grow. On the other side, in China, we are still market leader for the combustion engine cars, over 20% market share. And now we are entering also with a product offensive with over 20 products this year into the NEV segment. There are opportunities to grow for the future. And we see as a third growing region, North America, where we are entering in the SUV segment, rugged XUV segment and pickups. And the fourth opportunity could be with our footprint in China, also now to export to Southeast Asia, Australia, India, Middle East, South America and Africa. So there are growth opportunities, and in the meantime we work on our cost position.
Can you give us an update on the US and the situation there facing Volkswagen? You've said before you don't want to invest there and then face such a high tariff regime. Where do things stand?
Yeah, we are expanding in the US, ramping up right now a new plant in South Carolina. We are bringing back to the market the brand Scout, giving Scout a new face and combining the heritage of Scout with modern technology. These are initiatives where we invest heavily. We have taken and closing a partnership with Rivian, where we are investing heavily. And there are more opportunities to localize, but it's true, we can't invest on the one hand side and paying tariffs on the other side, and therefore there's a need of compensation. Yeah, and then we are prepared to invest even more in the US.
That issue is still not resolved, is that fair to say?
Yeah, we are in constructive talks also with the different states where our interest in our activities, but at the end it has to be a feasible business case for us. But on the other side, we also see opportunities in a market where Volkswagen Group still have growth opportunities.
We'll wrap it up by saying we often heard in the past that Volkswagen may not have led on electric mobility. And in fact, Tesla was often seen as a kind of pioneer for so long by Volkswagen, but that it would bring electromobility to the volume market like no other car maker. And that was because of scale. 4 models, 1 platform, it seems to be moving in that scale direction. Why has it taken so long for Volkswagen?
First of all, talking about the figures, in Europe, Volkswagen is by far market leader with 27% market share. The second one is positioned with 12 or 13% market share. And so that's a huge difference. And so it's not correct that Volkswagen Group is behind in electrification. Volkswagen is by far leader in electrification. And now we are entering in the next period. And therefore it was important to work on the cost base, on the material cost especially, being able to offer cars now in the entry level for 25,000 euros. That's what we are delivering right now with the Cupra, the ID Polo and the Epic. And on the other side, talking about electromobility, we are implementing right now in China the biggest product offensive in the history of Volkswagen Group, especially in the new energy vehicle segment with electric vehicles. And so I think Volkswagen Group is one of the leaders worldwide in terms of electromobility.
Oliver Blume, thank you so much for your time.
Yeah, thank you very much.